Hey friends, and welcome to another episode of Field Notes. My name is Eric Hultgren. We are live in Atlantic City at the New Jersey Travel Industry Association Conference on Tourism. And for this episode, we're going to Southern Ocean County and talking with Lori Pepenella. And as I said, my guest today, Laurie, how are you, my friend?
Very good. Happy to be here in Atlantic City.
Thank you for having us at the conference. I want to talk about the conference for sure, but I want to talk about you. How has this year been for you? I mean, you've done this for a number of years. This seems like in most parts of the country in tourism, this has been a year of flux. I'm wondering your thoughts on, like, as we're getting towards the end of the year, how are you viewing this year?
Yeah, so this year definitely came with some challenges. Of course, you know, when you talk about New Jersey, you're always weather-related. You're certainly, you know, when you had issues with the airports, arrivals and departures. But overall, there's been some growth, some positive investment in tourism in our state, great leadership. We actually partner with Stockton University to create a certified tourism industry program, and we've have graduates, so we have people that just want to dive into that knowledge to how to constantly advance what we can do here in New Jersey. So yes, there's always challenging years. This year, certainly it will end on a high note, I believe. But I think overall, it's about planning for the future.
So as one of the pioneers in education in tourism, and you are most certainly one of those pioneers, certainly in New Jersey, right? You were the first female with that certification, and obviously in the country. How important has education been for you throughout your career since that moment, right? It feels like it's very important.
Well, I mean, considering, you know, I represent an area that was impacted by Superstorm Sandy, and then, of course, you had the COVID pandemic. You need to have connections. You need to know where those resources are going to lie, because you're going to really, you know, unite with the rest of the industry to bring things, you know, to a solution. So to have that education and continue the education, especially in a conference like this, where you can meet and talk to professionals, get that mentorship, get the people that are going to be maybe helping make those positive impacts. That's what it's all about. So you're never done with education. It's always a continuum. And when you have something as volatile of an industry as tourism, which is so
yes.
trend-related, trend-related, transportation-related, economy, you know, dependent, you always have to know where the next, you know, the next thing is going to be to keep moving that ball.
Has that, I struggle to use the word disruption because it sort of has a negative connotation, but like, has that variance, the fact that it is trend related, weather related, all that, is that challenge been the thing that's kept you interested as many years as you've been doing this?
Well, I think the satisfaction is how much a destination grows and how much you see people come to love it. I think for me, my area is Southern Ocean County, Long Beach Island region, and to just hear and see people returning again and again for generations, that is, you know, I guess the bow, but then seeing all the components that put that together, successful businesses, people working together, community that comes together. And yes, there is a lot of resilience that's needed, but, you know, to just see people never give up. That is, again, very New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Very New Jersey, but also just, you know, such a positive thing about a place, the beauty of a place and what it means to somebody. You know, a marketer can't touch that because people are our best customer, right? They know what they experienced. They know what it felt like as a child or you know, as memories with maybe their, you know, most loved ones, or as a kid, you know, going someplace, you know, for the first time. So we're really excited about continuing that and always opening it up for new people to explore, but yet keeping it for people to feel this is their place to come back to.
Now, Laurie, on this podcast, my goal is to give other travel marketers kind of insights and things that they can do today. And you said something, you won an award in 2017, but you said something interesting in that video that was like giving you the award. And you talked about the innovation needed in a place like Southern Ocean County where you are not able to scale your place in a traditional way. And I'm wondering if you could maybe give people a glimpse into that innovation of going like geographically, there's things we can't move.
Right,
Right.
exactly. We're in the Pine Barrens as well as on the coast.
Yes. And so how do you approach growth like that? Because a lot of people in the United States have similar things. You might be next to a mountain, can't, right? Like whatever that is. How do you approach innovation like that?
Authenticity. You have to know where your core is and where that growth's going to come from. And it's going to come from the people that are going to bring something that is unique to your destination. We spend a lot of times building up destination weddings, building up, maybe some off-season specialities. That was good for us, but there's other areas that have very unique downtowns, or maybe a historical thing that happened that they haven't quite, found that niche yet. It's within your own community to do so, and you might sometimes need outside people to come in and tell you, listen, this is a draw. You might not see it because you've been around it for so long, but all it needs is a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of investment, and you're going to have something that's going to start that that drive.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of unique areas in New Jersey. I think it is the best state ever, because honestly, no matter where you go, it's a different experience, and it's within a drive away, and you're within the two, biggest cities, best cities on the East Coast, so you don't have to go far for all that impact. But yet, if you just stay within our borders, you can have mountains, you can have farms, you can have inner cities, you can have the shore, and it's all at price points that people can get, because you can do it off season or in peak season, and there's a lot of small businesses that rely on that. And I think people have to realize, by supporting these smaller destinations, you really are keeping generational businesses going, whether it's, an attraction, a hotel, or a restaurant, some sort of property management. It's just people rely on that curiosity of what is New Jersey, and there's a lot of people curious about New Jersey.
For sure.
I remember doing travel shows when The Sopranos were the biggest thing,
yes.
right?
Yeah,
and people just assuming, being the New Jersey booth, we knew the answers to
yes.
that. It's it would be, we would have to kill you if we told you,
yeah,
kind of thing. But
it's
just a lot of fun facts that get tied into a state that so many people are curious about. So embrace it. Find your people, your stakeholders from every sector, include them, build that out. And it might not be that year-round drive, but it might be just enough to get that, everybody in the black where they need to be.
Yep.
And that's a key moment. So it is a great thing.
So, Laurie, you talked about people discovering parts of New Jersey, and obviously two things are happening back to back that a lot of new people will discover parts of New Jersey, FIFA being one of them and the 250th being the other. You don't have to handle them in one fell answer, but how are you viewing those two events, and how excited are you about the prospect of who's going to arrive in New Jersey to enjoy both of those things?
New Jersey has a lot of surprises in store, and I think,
But you will have to kill me if you tell me.
Oh yeah. No. We're going to share that.
Good.
We're going to share that. But I think every, certainly we've had meetings. Going back probably 5 years was the first meeting that I started. I think I went with the New Jersey Preservation Trust, was one of the first to hold the meetings about how to prepare for the 250th. And it doesn't disappoint, because people are, again, digging deep, getting creative, and also, showcasing what is authentic to their area. So whether if you have a battleground or if you have a historic house, and most people in New Jersey might have that historic property. I know we have Barnegat Lighthouse, we have, Cedar Bridge Tavern by us, both revolutionary, sites in a certain way. And it's just going to highlight a different part of the culture for people to come and explore while they're enjoying other things throughout the summer. Of course, the 250 is an entire year, but everything, including the World Cup, is going to peak during the summer, where it's really, New Jersey is going to have the shore activities, topped off with watch parties and community events for the World Cup. up and down the state. And then you, of course, the 250th, which is going to be celebrated all year. And we certainly hope people go to the websites that the state has provided that will help you plan itineraries, something unusual. I don't know if you remember 1976, but I remember 1976. And I was, elementary school, and it still resonates with me because everything was branded in some way for that bicentennial.
Yep.
So if we can make that impact on, today's children, so that when they get older, they say, you know what, that was special. There was tall ships, that we got to see. There was fireworks. There were plays. There were reenactments. There was tours. There was, special games. We learned a lot. That is, really our legacy for tourism. Again, going back to what people's memories are. This is just another way to just pull more people in. And
I often say that people need to get out and travel more. And you can define that however you want to. Mm-hmm. But outside of the memories and the nostalgia that you get empathy because you go and meet new people and you have new experiences. And if this is a national audience. If you've never been to New Jersey, you could spend the entire summer going from town to town, experiencing the 250th in a way, and in a way that I think would leave you and your family with a profound memory that would be hard to replicate, which leads me to my very nerdy question for DMOs that might have something similar to this. When you have a year like that, obviously that's going to be a peak year, income's going to be off the charts, and it's going to be the next year is not going to compare. What is a great way for a DMO to understand that difference and insulate themselves from 27 when 26 will be raining money and monopoly money, right? And 27, you get back to normal. How, you with your experience, how does one look at that and make sure that you're okay, this year was good because we can't compare it. We're throwing 26 out, or however you would do that.
Well, we did sort of experience that when we hosted the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, that was a very big rally call. And of course, you have the following year, but you hope that with the energy that you have, and again, people making that investment to come together, maybe filling their coffers a little bit so their budgets, can be a little bit more, let's just say creative for the next year, that they're looking at different ways to engage. And of course, now with the attention economy being the way it is, you have influencers, you have other connections that you might make during this banner year that will help keep things moving forward in 27, 28, because we certainly want this to be a time for people to say, well, what's my potential? This is, something that's came to us. We're so grateful for it. But, this is introducing us to new people, to new companies, to new media partners, to new influencers. Maybe investors are thinking a little bit differently. Maybe local officials are thinking a little bit differently. So, now that we know we're capable of this, what's next? And that's that optimism that that we love to see. Is okay. You know what? There's potential there, but we can continue this on.
I love it. I love it. Last question, I'll let you get back to the conference. You talked early on in this podcast about education. What's the thing that you're looking to get out of this conference? What's the thing you're oh, I can't wait to go to that session because I want to learn this thing or meet this whatever that. I don't want to answer it for you, right?
So our 10 a.m. we're going to be having a gentleman speak that has done campaigns throughout the country that really resonated, again, organically. And I'm very interested in hearing kind of where that came from and how that meshed in with all, again, there's when you're promoting an area, there's a lot of people at the table. So I'm curious to see how they got such great response and such buy-in. So that's going to be exciting. And of course, we always like our tourism numbers. We always want to hear that, and that's going to be going on. And again, just the networking and the fantastic energy that all these tourism professionals bring to New Jersey. Come here to the New Jersey Tourism Industry Association, awards ceremonies, that's a big part of it. Just again, celebrating everybody that works so hard all year.
Lori, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. I'm so excited to start my day with you, so thank you.